Hi and welcome to The Winning Factor. I'm Alan Aitken, and on this show each week we take a look at some upcoming races in Hong Kong and try to isolate an angle to the race that might lead us to the winner. Well, Group 1 racing returns on Sunday at Sha Tin. The world's best sprinter, Ka Ying Rising, reappears, and we have a Gold Cup without Romantic Warrior, so that opens the way for someone else to be successful in this race. Of course, all the information, interviews, videos that you need for those Group 1 races are on the Hong Kong Jockey Club website. They won't be part of my coverage today, but it is just after the halfway mark in the season, so I thought it was time that we might look in for a report card on our trainers and jockeys during the first half of the season. Now, that doesn't mean the championship race. You can find that on the Hong Kong Jockey Club website as well, who's going to win the title, etc. But as punters, we're looking for something slightly different, the riders or trainers who are actually performing better than expectations. So first of all, let's take a look at the jockeys. And when we look at the riders, we know, of course, that Zac Purton is going to win the title and ride more winners than anyone else, but that doesn't necessarily make him the rider to follow as a bettor, remembering that his success is pretty much baked into the odds, even overcooked at times. Well, Zac is actually having a good season in those terms, almost 3 wins ahead of market expectations. But the two standouts this season have been Luke Ferraris and Matthew Poon, both outriding the expected chances of their mounts by significant margins. For me, that makes them the riders to follow for a punt. Now, on the Trainers' Premiership race, once again, you'll find that on the Jockey Club website. It's less clear. There are 8 wins across the top 11 trainers this season at this stage, so it's still anyone's race. But when we look at who is performing or outperforming the market, well, there's a little bit more clarity. The 2 second season trainers, Mark Newnham and Cody Moe, are both doing very well, but it might be more of a surprise to many that reigning champion trainer Francis Lui is overperforming too. Now, he generally seems to have flown under the radar to some extent this season, even though he's in the top 6 on the table. But he has been quietly going about his business and representing great value for bettors. So that's just something for you to file away going forward. It doesn't come into our 2 races for Sunday because I'm looking at different factors for those. And the first one we're going to take a look at is race 3, where our winning factor is the map. This is quite a handy looking class 4, this over 1400 metres. Never too soon, looks a chance. He's a 7-year-old, but well graded here at his first time ever in class 4. There will be fans of Harold Wynn coming back to class 4 and the last start winner Gale Saga. But for me, this race is all about 2 runners, Sky Jewellery from the John Size Yard and Frankie Law trained South Star. And I won't be surprised if either of these 3-year-olds or both of them are being talked about in terms of the 4-year-old series this time next year. But for now, they're just inexperienced and raw. Now, John Size often takes his good young horses to Happy Valley for their first couple of race starts to bring them on mentally. At Happy Valley, races are a little bit more chaotic. There's a bit more going on around horses, and they learn their racecraft much quicker as a result. So Sky Jewellery, he overcame a few of those things when he won at his first start there. But second time around, well, the mental issues this time were for the punters who backed him at very short odds. This is race 400. He's in gate 11, pink colours. Hugh Bowman, well, he's rarely in a hurry early and certainly isn't here. There's a charge forward rounding the first turn that continues mid-race and becomes critical to the event later, especially those horses stuck wide in midfield. By the time we get to the 500 metres, favourite punters are pretty happy, expecting Bowman to put the left blinker on, come out and just swamp the tiring group ahead. But here's where that earlier charge comes into play. The wide horses are weakening too fast. Bowman has left it too late to come out and is going to get them in his lap if he does, so he goes inside. And it's a train wreck. Sky Jewellery gets no room at the right time, and that's racing. Ouch, you certainly don't need that if you backed him at odds of 1.5. So Sky Jewellery should still be unbeaten, and he comes to Sha Tin, first time 1400 metres and first time on the bigger track. Both of those things look like they will suit him. Now South Star, he's even less exposed. He's only had the one start, and that was on January 26 over Sunday's course and distance. This is race 381, he's in gate 12, blue and red colours, and South Star jumps well, but Jerrick Long doesn't want to risk being caught wide and steadies well back in the field to get closer to the rail. Now the shape of this race is somewhat calmer than the one we just saw. Steady fractions for 1,000 metres before a sprint down the straight that was almost 5 lengths faster than average. Now even the winner has a lot to do here, Yuen Long Elite in green and white colours in midfield. But when they turn for home, he's coming into it at the 400 metres, while South Star is still looking for room inside at the tail, and his strong finish has to wait until late in the piece. So the winner there, Yuen Long Elite, he's in on Sunday as well. He was impressive there, but the only horse to finish faster than him was the inexperienced 3-year-old South Star. And that's where the map is going to come into play, because now South Star draws inside, while Sky Jewellery once again has to deal with an outside gate. The pace here mostly drawn middle or low, but Harold Wynn from the outside, first time 1400 metres, also has the speed to work across, and that should ensure a good tempo. I'm sure Bowman will ride Sky Jewellery quietly again and be looking to get home down the outside of the field, but the big change is South Star drawing low. We saw it in his first race. He jumped well, then had to give up a lot of ground cheaply, but he had shown enough speed in trials to be slightly more involved early. I expect he'll still be sitting back off the pace, but he can be closer without having to do any work to get there. The issue for Lyle Hewitson, his jockey this time, is going to be getting room in the straight when he needs it, but if he's in front of Sky Jewellery and reproduces the finishing speed from his debut, he's going to give him a proper race. So the tip from me in race 3, South Star. His winning factor, the map. Now I think these two horses dominate discussions, and quite rightly I think Sky Jewellery is going to be the short price favourite in the race. He looks a very promising horse indeed, but he has those map issues. South Star's also promising. He draws better this time. I think he'll be in front of Sky Jewellery, and if he does turn on those finishing sectionals that he produced last time, he's certainly going to be there with a chance to knock over the favourite. The other race I'm looking at on Sunday is race 8, where our winning factor is the draw. This is a Class 3, 1400 metres, and Patch of Cosmo, he's a smart 3-year-old who did a good job last start to win after a wide run. He's got a chance again. Victory Sky hasn't had much luck in his races lately, but draws better this time. Mr Energy is up in class, but won impressively in Class 4, and there are some other fringe chances as well, but the one that stands out for me is John Size-trained Juno Pride. So this 3-year-old hasn't run a bad race yet in his 5 starts, in fact hasn't missed a place yet, and 2 starts back he was able to run on despite a check in the middle stages and grab a win over the 1400 metres, and then certainly was well beaten but ran with great credit when he made the ascension to Class 3 last time. This is race 413, he's in gate 10, green and yellow colours, and Juno Pride is one of the better beginners, and as the horse inside him works across to the lead, Brenton Avdulla follows him over. It's a good spot to be in terms of the pace. On the heat map you can see a relatively low pressure first 1,000 metres here, though note Juno Pride, after being woken up to get across there, does just want to be going a little bit faster than his rider wants him to go. At the top of the straight, the eventual winner, Light Year's Charm, looms, poised to run home in a very fast final sectional, and Juno Pride just has no answer to that. Now that winner is a very classy 4-year-old, which means he's a year older than Juno Pride, but he could even develop into one of the fancies for next month's Hong Kong Derby, so it's no disgrace to be beaten by that horse. And although I don't think it made much difference to the finishing order, Juno Pride did want to race that little bit keenly after being woken up out of the gates, and that did cost him something at the finish. which is where he benefits on Sunday from a kinder setup. Now this time Juno Pride has gate 5. The speed is essentially drawn low, Bucephalus likely leads again, and the others with some tactical speed drop in behind him. Perhaps we'll get Keefe or maybe Sunny Vale pushing across from wider to keep the tempo worthwhile, but even that looks a plus for those trailing inside. This time I think we'll see Avdollah looking to get cover, have Juno Pride switched off and chasing the leaders instead of being there as a target. Pacha Cosmo, well, he was wide from gate 6 last start, now draws gate 1, which helps, especially as he has a history of being a risky beginner, while Victory Sky finally gets an inside draw again and should position closer, as he did when runner-up over 1,200 metres in November. But the tip from me in race 8, Juno Pride, his winning factor, the draw. Now, as you might have noticed, the draw has importance for a number of the runners with chances here, but I think it's more significant for Juno Pride as he did get a little bit keen last time, having to be sent forward from that wide draw. This time, I think we'll see him as the hunter instead of the hunted, and that might make the difference. Well, that's it from the winning factor this week. Good luck on Sunday. Enjoy the Group 1s. We'll see you next time.